Whoa, watch out.
Are you for real?
That's ground level up there.
And we saw that dreaded road closure sign.
Well, Coober Pedy looks like a beaming metropolis compared to this. 6 AM, we're leaving early. Actually be a bit... Okay, fine. We're running late.
This episode, we begin in Andamooka, a unique outback town famous for the Queen's opal. From there, we push on to Opal City, Coober Pedy, the opal capital of the world, and stop over in Marla before getting to the heart of Australia.
Folks, I want to start this off with an apology. Every time I seem to be doing these piece to cameras lately, I've got sunnies on. It's just so damn bright out here in the outback, and I would not be able to see without them. So I apologize, I really do. I know it's not that personal, but I've just got to keep them on for now. Welcome, though, to Andamooka RV Park, a place where you can publicly noodle for opals, which, you know, if you didn't know noodling was a thing, it absolutely is, and where you can hook your van up for $15 a night, powered in the middle of the outback. So you can have your aircon running while you go explore these places. Being able to have that aircon on is a game changer out here. We're in the shoulder season, it's getting warm, and this is a big thing. So I'm really, really thankful to the Andamooka community for this one. I say the community because out here, there is no police, there is no council. It is just the community putting on a show for us, and they're doing a great job of taking care of us. So today, with Andamooka done, well, Andamooka RV Park done, we're going to set out and go explore this area. There's some really cool historic cottages and other things that I would like to check out. And then of course, Jess wants to go see anything that she can to do with opals. Now, this is, I would say, like a bit like Coober Pedy back in the old days. It's not as big. There's all the dugouts. It's all that what would you call it? That lovely feeling you get in these outback towns, but without quite so many people. Because yeah, if you put them together, well, Coober Pedy looks like a beaming metropolis compared to this, but this is much, much better. So let's get to it. Actually, hold up. You know what? That wasn't fair. It's not better than Coober Pedy, it's different to Coober Pedy, and you may like things just how you like them. My preference, Andamooka over Coober Pedy every day. I've actually had some crazy experiences in Lightning Ridge and these other opal towns where they don't seem as friendly as you would think, but this one is just so different. It's this, oh, you feel like you're part of the family just spending one night here. It's different. You go to Lightning Ridge and places like that and make the mistake of asking a question about a opal, you know, mine or anything like that, and you may just find yourself getting told that your head's going to be cut off and you're going to be thrown down a mine shaft. Ask me how I know. Out here though, not like that. So with that addressed, now we will get to the adventures. Now, one of the locals told me that COVID sort of somewhat killed this town. In fact, just over here is the pub that shut down apparently during COVID. So we're going to take a look around and show you exactly why you should come to places like Andamooka in Outback, South Australia.
So we're just at the historical cottages at the moment, and it's a bit of a self-guided tour. So we're just heading to signpost number 1, and then we're going to walk through them in a linear fashion.
It's so organised. What I'm really keen to do actually is just see how much cooler it is inside one of these dugouts. Last time I was in one, I can't remember, a very long time ago. I'm really, really keen to see these. And these are pretty ingenious ones as well. Apparently this is how they were built back in the day. Obviously the historical and heritage sort of stuff, but I suppose you'd call it the technology of the time, was pretty sophisticated in that it really bloody works. So I'm expecting it to be a lot cooler in here, and I'm really hoping it is, because some idiot in the wardrobe department put me in black today.
Constantly wears long sleeve black.
Although the local that we met yesterday who was giving us tips about noodling, he has his own lot here as well, and he was saying that he has his own underground dugout thing, but it doesn't get that cool because there's no ventilation. So I think it's a combination of like being underground and also having some breeze coming through.
See, like that's what I thought we were going to be seeing, like big chunks.
Yeah, I think if you get lucky you find big chunks like that. So if you were here in 1930, wow, I just hit my head. This is what you lived in?
Yeah. So unless there's a reason they're low like this, were people just shorter back in the day?
No.
Remember, what was her name? you know,
Molly Clark's house.
Molly Clark's house in wherever that was in the outback, and we visited that, and everything was quite a lot lower as well, mate. I don't know.
Not
I'd
her
love to know.
house. It was only the meat thing.
Yeah, so maybe that does have something to do with temperature. The lower the roof, the better. Now,
Don't know. We'll probably just talk about things that we actually know, though.
yeah.
Is that a fly net?
So this is what I was wondering. Is that, to me, that looks like something you'd hang meat in or something like that.
Oh.
But to keep flies off it. But imagine if you like slept with your head in it.
I would.
Yeah, you would.
Anyone else just bring your caravan with you everywhere you go? We could have unhitched and left it at the RV park that we were just at, but there's no one in town. It's literally a ghost town. Like, there are just locals driving past. There's no tourists here, which is sad because it's so cool here. And hopefully this video will change that. I'm not expecting, you know, to be the reason that tourism reignites in Andamooka, but if you see this video and you're curious about this opal town, which seems to be lesser known than Lightning Ridge and Coober Pedy, and I don't know why that is, but if you see this and you think, hey, that looks like a cool place I'm going to check out, then we'd be happy to have contributed to that, because the locals here are so friendly, so much cool history here. It's such a great landscape, and it really is one that you should add to your list if you haven't already.
This has got your kind of bed.
Oh. Why is that my kind of bed? It looks like a hospital bed.
Oh. I just meant because...
That looks like something people are wheeled out of the hospital in.
The fly, it keeps the flies off you.
Is that what it was for?
Well, I'd say so, yeah.
In Africa, if you go on an African safari, you sleep in a net. Because of the mozzies.
How does the net feel about that?
So this says that the dugouts are different to Coober Pedy because they're not excavated caves in the ground. They're built like a house.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It reminds me of like a Western set. You know, like when you go to Movie World and they've got that Western area?
Yeah. Yeah, you would expect like some people in the heritage clothing and all that to be.
Yeah. It's so quiet here. I can hear every single footstep.
Yeah. Growing up, we had a bowl exactly like this, my mum did, and I remember it from a kid, like it lived in the garden. I think we had like a chicken coop and they drank out of it. And forever, this was like the bowl of my childhood.
I would be concerned if you didn't remember your childhood memories when you're only 30.
I've had 2 brain injuries. People pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get stoves that look as good as this, you know, restored and stuff. And it's all just sitting here, not taken, not trashed.
And no graffiti.
No graffiti. Like, this
not like
town
our last video.
is crap. You know, go figure. A town without police and there's not much of a crime problem, apparently. You notice these handles are all very short on these mining instruments, and I assume that's because the tunnels and everything they were working in was so small there was no room to be throwing that stuff around. But holy dolly, you know, it's hot enough just walking around right now. Can you imagine what it was like, or what it is still like? They're still doing it. Different breed of people out here. You know, I thought I was tough, but they're holy moly. This looks to be a handmade, homemade ladder. I assume for getting down mine shafts and stuff. You know, just that sort of stuff. We would just go to the shop and buy a ladder. They couldn't do that. They didn't do that. And this worked. We could get 2 snatch straps and some twigs and we can make our own. And so that's ground level up there. So I assume that's what they're saying, like it's not an excavated dugout or whatever, it's clearly been.
It's not completely underground, but it is lower in the ground.
Yeah.
This is so cute. I like this one the best.
Yeah.
This is Perry's kitchen. It's like a little... This reminds me of Molly Clark's house.
Yeah, especially with the photos too. Of it.
But just like the little kitchen setting and... What?
Please, somebody tell me what this is for. I really want to know.
What makes you think anyone's going to know what that is?
Because people are like, everyone knows everything, you know, especially on YouTube.
Southeast that looks like her mom, and you should hear her singing when she thinks she's alone, calm as the whisper of the pine needle tree.
Tell you what, it's way cooler in here than it is out there. You can see the sun reflecting off my face, but it is just like you could stay in here all day and it'd be much better than that. Makes sense. These walls are super thick.
G'day and good morning, guys. You find us in Glendambo. So I'll give you a little rundown on the day that was yesterday, because we did a lot and achieved very little. It's one of those things that sometimes happens on the road, and we're lucky that since we left home, this is the first time we've sort of run into anything like that when it comes to road closures. So we left Andamooka about 12:30 yesterday. Our plan was we're going to Olympic Dam, and then we were getting on a dirt road that would lead us to the Oodnadatta track. And Josh and I have done the Oodnadatta twice before, once on our very first trip together, and second time was just recently on Pat's show. So not something that we were like dying to see again. We were literally just there. We were thinking that we were going to head to Coward Springs. If you've never been to Coward Springs campground, add it to your list. It's a super cool place. Unfortunately, we got to Olympic Dam and we saw that dreaded road closure sign. We looked it up online because thankfully we had reception, and basically it was open to 4-wheel drives, but it was not recommended that you take caravans on there because there were big things of mud and big pooling of water, and of course if everyone drove on it, it would destroy the track. So we ended up unfortunately just going back the way we came. We headed again past Roxby Downs, Woomera, got back on the sealed road, and we are now headed up to Coober Pedy. We ended up driving about 4 hours yesterday, 5 hours, something like that, only to end up like 2 hours down the road here at Glendambo, but that's okay. What we're gonna do is, I really wanted to stay at the mine site. So there's like a donation camp right next to the mine in Coober Pedy, but because it's 40 degrees and I checked the forecast, it's not gonna go below 35 all night. I think we're gonna go big for Coober Pedy. We haven't booked, we're just gonna pull up. Like, if you guys can see out the window, if the reflection's not too bad, there's no one around, literally no one around. And it is because this is the season that you don't really travel because it's so hot. That's the plan today. Just wanted to give you a little catch up so you weren't like, hang on, how'd you get from Andamooka to Coober Pedy and there was nothing in between. Unfortunately, roads closed. It's for our own safety. Worst thing would be for us to have taken that road, gotten 50 kilometers down it and got bogged and stuck there for 3 days. We'd be sweltering, we'd run out of food, we'd run out of water. And I think you get a pretty massive fine as well. We'll see you in Coober Pedy.
It's gonna be hot.
It's already hot.
Yeah. Get in the truck.
Oh, so this is a cabin that a miner crawled into. Wow, that's a bit scary.
To mine in there.
Well, yes. No, we just curled in there for fun.
Why not? It's without their brakes.
That scared me. I thought it was a person. So nowadays they obviously have all that heavy machinery, but back then they were just using this driving pick, and it could take a week or a month, depending on the ground. How crazy. You know what you look like? One of those like mole people that live in holes and mines in the walls.
That's what I've been imagining the whole time I've been in Coober Pedy with all the hills and they're just there shoveling the dirt out.
Yeah, you just look like one of those people that live in like the catacombs. Oh, we skipped like 5 things. So what I'm gathering so far is I would get a really bad back had I been working in a mine.
It's the break room. Whoa, watch out.
Oh, are you for real?
Carl was falling down.
It says hand and foot holes have been dug into the shaft. So he was like the original boulderer. You know how people boulder, like rock climb without...
The original parkour.
No, it's not parkour. It's not at all parkour. 110 million years old, these opalized seashells. So this is a wind sock, and this is what was used to ventilate the mine to help get some air down here, especially when they were using explosives. It looks like the thing that you bind the caravan legs down with.
Yeah, same sort of style, I suppose. What is definitely 6 AM. We're leaving early. Yes, the sun is up. We might actually be a bit... Okay, fine. We're running late. So the reason we left early this morning is obviously because it is really bloody hot out here. So we're just trying to get the drives done before peak sort of sun and temperature. Today we're going from Coober Pedy towards Marla, and we'll see what it's like there, what the temperatures are doing, and just the conditions, and see if we want to push on or not. And then intention is to obviously get up early the next day, and then we'll arrive to Uluru sometime tomorrow afternoon-ish, early afternoon. So that's the plan. Stay tuned. I'll let you know if anything changes, but so far temperatures and pressures are all in the green and we're good to go. Holy smokes. Remember when I said in South Australia, if it's anything, it's a lot of that. If it's windy, it's really windy. If it's going to rain, it's probably going to rain a lot. And that seems to be what we've got going on here. We are at Marla at the moment, on our way to a very special place. Jess can tell you all about that, but the wind hasn't really picked up. Blessing in disguise though, because we were actually meant to be on the Unbeatable track coming up that way, spitting us out right here. And I'm kind of glad that didn't happen. We had a whole lot of really crazy weather, so we were in a bit of a safer place. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with giving the ute a run along the highway when it's spent its whole life off-road. So here we are, enjoying what is quite possibly about to be our second dust storm in as many weeks. But if you look over here, not of the Land Cruiser, past that, does it not look like it may or may not rain tonight? I'm tipping it will.
Also, just want to point out, we did try and wash the rigs when we were in Coober Pedy. Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, some bumhole stole the jet nozzle. Like, I put in the money, I didn't look, and Jess was like, why didn't you look first? Because you never look, they're always there. I put in the money and then just like put it to high pressure wash, and the jet nozzle wasn't there, and water just went everywhere. So this is the lovely clean ute, which is absolutely filthy, and I don't know when we're going to wash it, but it's all right. It is what it is, really. This rain might wash it.
It's a welcome change from the heat, but there is dust everywhere, which is why, oh my god, it's all in my eyes, which is why we've been pretty much locked in the van since we got here. But yeah, the weather has really turned it on. I'm about to go cook dinner. Picked up some fresh groceries in Coober Pedy, so I'm gonna use those up for dinner tonight.
On our way to Uluru, we stopped briefly at Eldunda Roadhouse to grab some snacks and also check out the emus up close. You can buy feed from inside the roadhouse for around $3 and feed the emus from behind the fence here.
The astute viewer will notice I have my work hat on, which means I have been working. I've been doing the fuel filter today. It's preventative maintenance. We've got hard slog, outback roads, and you know I do love to keep this thing in good condition. So we also had that bout of bad diesel, so I'm really stoked to see that 5,500 k's later, that's what the fuel filter's looking like. That's beautiful. I'm happy with that. We'll still slap a new one in, of course. We've got it all apart. And here is actually the fuel filter housing, and I wanted to show people like a couple of things that you should look out for when you do this sort of stuff. So not when you're changing, but when you're driving. So in here you can see, or hopefully you can see, actually, maybe I'll get my torch and I'll show you. In there,
It's still too dark.
Still too dark. Don't worry. In here, there's a little float and it pops up. And when it pops up, it triggers a little sensor coming off here. And that's your water and your fuel alarm, sort of. That's what's going to throw that code for you and put a light on your dash. You do not ever want it to get to that point. If it's at that point, I guarantee you, there is so much water in your fuel system that if your car is still running, well, you should go buy a lottery ticket. So things you can do to stop it: fitting a pre-filter will absolutely help, and keeping on top of those fuel filter changes for two reasons. Because obviously the cleaner the filter, the better the economy, the happier the vehicle, but also because you're going to be on top of noticing if there's any water or contaminants in your fuel, because you will pop this little plug here and you'll drain your fuel into a bottle, because if you put it on the ground, you're a swear word that we're not allowed to say, and you can check for contaminants because, well, A, you'll see them floating at the bottom if they're there, and B, the diesel, because it's lighter or not as viscous, or however that works, whatever you want to say, will float on top of the water. So you would have a line down here of water and you'll see those contaminants, and you can see here that there is none. So we're really happy with that. I'm going to slap this back together. Now, one other thing I did was, if you come this way, obviously it's the Outback, it's hot, and we're pushing these vehicles to their limits. And when I say these vehicles, I mean anyone who's towing in these conditions is pushing them to the limit. So what I've done is installed an engine guard, and what that does is has a sensor on the head where I've chosen to put it, where I think it'll be the best, and that's going to give me a readout of the, well, I guess the head temperature, not relying on the coolant, because if there's no coolant running through the system, as in to say you've had a rapid loss of coolant, your temperature sensor will just keep reading the same. It might drop a little bit, but it's not going to alarm you because it works off water, it works off coolant in the system. No coolant, you're not going to know. So you need a secondary alarm, a standalone one. That's what we've done. If we have a rapid loss of coolant, anything else, we're going to know well before we cook the motor. So that is good prevention. I'm a very happy man today because we've done a lot, and any day where I get to prevent a bit of crap going wrong with this Ranger, I'm stoked. That's the reason it's been going so long, because we do stuff like this. So if you guys want to come out to these places and keep on doing it, you don't need to replace your vehicle every year, you just need to be on top of your maintenance.
It's our very last night here in Uluru. We've been here for 2 nights. This will be our 3rd, and then we're heading off tomorrow. We have been out to the rock multiple times a day, every day. And today we're just gonna watch a sunset from Ayers Rock Campground, which is where we've been staying. We spent the day in the national park, and we didn't really want to go back.
All day, every day. And plus, this is where you stay if you're here. There's nowhere else. Plus, it has really, really good views.
It is a beautiful lookout. Highly recommend seeing Uluru from all angles. We have admittedly had a bit of a selfish trip in the sense that we haven't had the GoPro out. You obviously can't fly the drone here, but we haven't been filming a lot with the GoPro just because we've wanted to enjoy it. It's one of those places that I think it really needs to be felt, as you know, corny as that sounds. It is just such an amazing place that you just want to be totally present. And it's worth noting as well, there are a lot of sections of Uluru that are sacred to the local people. There are signs everywhere telling you what you can and can't film, and if you film something and then see that sign, it's a sign of respect to simply delete it.
I got some work done on the ute. I was being present with the ute while I just was exploring some of the stuff I've done. I feel like I've just done to death, and I was overdue with some other stuff. But if there's anything, you know, you're going to do when you come here, it's sunrise, sunset, and you will never get sick of it. So 10th time, 10 millionth time, this is worth seeing. So let's go see it. Now tell me that's not the best view you've seen from a campground in a long, long time.